Hi there, guys. So I'm back with another vlog on here today, and this is a special vlog for me at least, and the viewers that have been keeping up on here on my channel the last few months. So today marks 1 year of the first time, not the exact first time, but when it all started with me, the anxiety, the panic. So if I go back, 23rd of October last year, 24. I remember I had a sort of a sneeze coming in. I was literally sat right here in this room working. And because I'm on the phone, I want to, be disrespectful and sneeze right into it as I'm talking to people. I held it in, as a lot of people do when they try sneeze in public settings. And then after that, I felt like sort of a sharp sort of pain over here, like a pressure. And after that, the few minutes after that, the next hour or two, I just felt weird, like I went out the room, I went down, I came up a few times. I was feeling a bit sort of out of body-ish, and everything just felt weird and surreal. And I didn't know that then the panic had already set in. And fast forward 2 days later, I went to the GP just to double check, like everything's all right with me. I explained exactly what happened with the sneeze and what I felt from here. I was then referred to the hospital where I thought, something life threatening is going on in my brain. And, everything turned out to be cleared. And then since then, I, I still, felt like there was something there that the doctors didn't pick up, which is a classic symptom of anxiety itself. And then the week following that, I started to have sort of anxiety from the way I was feeling, like, why am I feeling completely detached from reality? And after that, panics came on day and night. Intrusive thoughts flooded my system for a good few months. Like, I'm talking 24/7 to some point. I couldn't sleep. I lost so much weight. I remember I was around 74, 75 kg. I dropped all the way down to 55 kg, 54 kg. Yeah, so 20 kg there. And, from the rapid weight loss and what I was feeling from the side of my head, and the anxiety still being there, the panic. At this time I didn't know it was panic going on. I just felt like my body was reacting to something that's completely broken now. So I kept searching the internet. I kept trying my best, to go out there. I remember going down to the corner shop right near my house over here, and I wouldn't be able to keep eye contact. So, social anxiety would just be a whole different story at that point. Because with me, the anxiety was just unbearable. So you can just imagine if I go out to, to a public setting, even as light as the shop, it would just completely have me sweating, and I would just be shivering. Like, I'll be reaching for the receipt, like after I buy something, my hand would be like, it was intense. And, for that reason, I came back home. I remember that day, and I decided to not leave the house if not necessary. Like, I'd usually go out there to just get crisp chocolate, the small things. But I thought, there's no point, punishing myself and going through hell just for something small like that. So I stayed home, and I didn't leave the house, I think, for a good 2 months, 3 months or so. So I became agoraphobic. And then came around, after New Year's, it persisted. And I then thought, so what, since I'm not getting any better, I might as well just go out and take this with me, like, and, sort of a energy came out of me to try keep on pushing, regardless of if I feel alienated in public, just carry it with me. And that's like the first time, I think it was mid-January or towards the end of January, when I felt like taking it with me and trying to, fight the world, like, as in just be myself, and with all the, problems that I have, and take it with me. And anyone that picks up, then let it be, because I thought I'd be like that for the rest of my life, if I don't try it. So it was a good sort of encouragement within. And then February, that's when I tried to, I had a doctor's appointment, and it was for the pediatric. And after my toe was sort of fixed, so I had sort of a nail issue. After that was fixed, in the actual appointment itself, I remember the doctor approaching me, so I had to lay down on a bed so they can do work on my toe. And the doctor came up to me, and a nurse was over there, and as the doctor approached me, I just felt like extremely anxious, like from the inside. I couldn't like look him in the eyes, and they were both talking out at the same time. Like, today is your appointment, so are you sure you know what we're doing? And it just felt like just so overwhelming for me. I was like, Yeah, yeah, yeah." And they were like, "Okay, right, so we'll have this doctor over here and he's gonna go through the procedure, this is that." And I was like taken back, like everything was just too much for me. You know, it's one thing to have a conversation with somebody, and it's a completely different thing when it's a bodily contact involved. You know, like, I'll be sort of just fighting people off from your personal space. Now when body contact comes involved, like when the doctor tried to touch my foot and my toe, it was just, yeah, it was too much for me then. And I spiraled further into my depersonalization. And then I came across, I remember on YouTube one night as I was scrolling, I came across a video that was like tailored for me. And it was Sean Kazam. And I watched his videos. I remember that night, I felt like, somebody knows exactly what it is and has got it down to literally to the micro parts of everything about panic and anxiety. So then after watching that, I felt like, okay, right, somebody can relate and it sounds like his information would help. So I stayed on his channel for a few weeks, and then a month or two, I started to do the techniques on there. And then I came across another YouTuber called Jordan Hardgrave. And that's when things started to look even better, because Jordan, on his channel, it talks more about sort of depersonalization with anxiety, panic, and also trauma-related sort of nervous issues that people get from trauma. And after that, I remember around March, I joined his course and I paid a sort of, yeah, a big sum. And let me just say, it was the best decision that I've ever made in my life, I think, because from that course, I realized that, excuse me, I realized it's important to communicate safety to your brain and your nervous system. And that's the only way that your body will feel safe. Excuse me, I just had some peanuts and I feel like it's all in my throat. And communicate safety to my brain. And I started to do the techniques, and within a month or two, around April, I was starting to feel better already. And I felt like, I had the fuel and the words of encouragement to keep pushing and to execute every exercise that I learned. And that's when I did my first exposure on the 1st of April. And I went to McDonald's, and, I found it very hard to just, turn my head and, look at people, make eye contact, and, just be in social settings and try hide the nerves that I have. But the key advice was, you will feel the nerves, you will feel the anxiety, and the key and goal isn't to hide the anxiety here, it's to carry it with you. Because when you try to fight it, your body will learn that it's a negative thing, and the more you try to hide things, the more it will actually show. So I actually, took it all in, and I took it with me wherever I went from that day on. And then slowly I ventured out. I went to town, I went to Tesco's, I went different places. And two of my friends helped me a lot, like from the beginning. I really, really appreciate that. But it's been a year, and, today is a special day for my nervous system and for me as well. So I'm going to be taking it all in. And, a year ago, I thought, it's all over. Felt like, I was going to, not make it at all, let alone try recover or anything. So what I've also decided to do is to keep going, as I should. And I feel like I'm not, of course, 100% healed or recovered from all of this. And I'm going to try to, of course, reach 100% and beyond as well. So for the upcoming year, inshallah, and hopefully I'm going to keep pushing. Whatever that comes my way, any sort of, awkward tension that's left in my body, emotional, issues that's locked in my body from years ago. Because, of course, I had depersonalization for the first time in 2011. So this goes years back. And I'm just undoing all the work now with all the exposures, and even in the vlogs here. I feel like the last, say, 3 or 4 days, things have been a bit more tougher. So I haven't left my house much since the last video I've uploaded on here, which was the podcast. And I've got something special planned, hopefully in the weekend. But I don't want to get back onto my agoraphobic patterns that I had a year ago. So I'm going to keep a positive mindset. I'm going to keep doing the exercises and techniques to get rid, or shall I say, get my body into a safety zone so things go better as well. So yeah, I'm going to be here and I'm going to be pushing on as normal. But yeah, I'd like to take today, sorry, my speech is all over the place. I'd like to, of course, make this video special for you guys on here today, just to mark the 1 year on here, and for me to hopefully one day look back as well. But I think I started the vlogging on here a bit too late. It would be better if I started, you know, around October this time last year, or around November, December time, so I could get the proper footage of what I was going through. But if I go through my camera roll on Snapchat, I did make a few snaps, and I might get around to maybe merging a clip on here and uploading it as a short, and, you know, just giving you, like, guys, sort of a view of what it is that I was saying, what I was going through. But without any further ado, I hope you enjoy your day and take care, guys. And I'll see you guys on Saturday when I upload a special video. But guys, enjoy your day and take care.